Hey, what's going on? Shep here at Iron Anchor Cycles, and we're here with something that if you've been following along with a bunch of our other videos should look pretty familiar to you, and that's our purple Dyna Low Rider here. This bike has been something we've been working on for a couple of weeks and finally got it dyno tuned and back on the road, so here it is sitting on the ground in the shop, fully done. One of the things I wanted to talk about with this bike, while we kind of have it sitting here in the front of our shop, is some of the things that we didn't necessarily cover in the motor build. So obviously, we talked a lot about that stuff, and if you've got any questions or anything like that about what we did on the motor or any of the upgrades in that department, check out those other videos. You'll get a fully detailed explanation of that. But what I wanted to do was not overlook some of the rest of the stuff that we did on this bike, to turn it into something that is really a standout bike that really performs well and looks great. So kind of starting up here at the front, obviously one of the most notable things about this bike is we put this fairing on. Had the paint match the OEM specialty paint from Harley, sometimes a little easier said than done. But we do have a shop locally that we work with who's great at matching paint. So this came out looking really good. In addition to that, we definitely did some upgrades on the front end of this bike. While we're still running our OE lowers and sliders, fork tubes, we upgraded the internals with springs from Race Tech along with their gold valve cartridge emulators. In addition to that, we've got some extended damper tubes from Tracker Die that are drilled to work properly with those emulators. And then we topped it off with some preload adjusters from Speed Merchant. All this stuff is available on our website and here in the shop, so if any of that or any other kind of upgrades to front suspension is something you're looking at, definitely check it out. Beyond that, we upgraded the brakes with a pretty simple changeover to Harley's original equipment touring calipers, which are manufactured by Brembo, perhaps a little known secret. Definitely a big upgrade from the calipers that are on there, and pretty easy and inexpensive to get if you look around for them. And then we finished that off with some braided lines that we got from Russell. So that pretty much talks about the front end, the bottom part of it anyway. Moving up to the top, probably a little hard to see in the video, but we'll post some photos. We've got a really nice set of isolated risers from Kraus. If you know that name, you know that they really do make the best stuff around. Kraus's products are really built around function and performance, and everything that they make, there's a reason for how it's built the way it's built. In this particular case, the risers mount to the triple tree with a solid bushing as opposed to rubber or polyurethane, and then they move the isolators up into the handlebar clamp itself. And that way you still get the vibration reduction you get from the isolators, but by moving it up to the top of the riser, you eliminate the wobble and flex that you can get when you're running taller bars. So what we've got is a 10-inch riser from them, and then 2 inches of rise in the bars themselves. And the bars are from Biltwell, and that's a 2-inch tracker style bar. So put that all together, it's a 12-inch rise, which works really well for a rider who's about my height, and also works well with the fairing. So that's kind of where we're at for the front end. We did a clutch cable to match those braided brake lines. Beyond that, we've got a nice little handlebar bag here from Thrash and Supply, again, available on our website. Then kind of moving to the rest of the bike, we've got a great step-up seat from Saddlemen here. And, this is one of those things I think that, there's a lot of seat manufacturers out there. Saddlemen seats are still made where they've always been made, right in Long Beach. And all their stuff is done by hand. And also, I think the coolest part about it is, in addition to making a really great seat that performs really well and has a lot of support and substance to it, they're fully customizable. So in this particular case, we had the stitching done in purple to match the paint. We had the emblems done in gold to match the tank badge. And then we did a little bit of carbon fiber around up through the back of it to match our air cleaner cover from Horsepower Inc. So really, really cool that you can get all that stuff done right from them. And this is something we can help you out with ordering. You can also check it out on their website. Certainly not something to overlook, the rear suspension on the bike. Obviously, we want to get this bike up a little higher. I mentioned the extended dampers in the damper tubes in the front suspension. So we've got some 14-inch shocks. These are an adjustable 13.5-inch up to 14 from Olin's in the back. these are as good as it gets. There's a lot of great suspension products out there. We work with Legends, we work with RWD, but Öhlins is really the premier shock absorber in our particular opinion. And that's why we're running them on this bike. So can't beat them there. Beyond that, moving to the rear, a couple other little things. Obviously, we've got saddlebags from Leather Pros on here. These are awesome. They come on and off really easily. And obviously, these are T-Sport reproduction bags, which match the fairing that we did up front. And obviously, what we've done here is kind of try to match that original T-Sport look with repop parts. But these bags have gone through a bunch of different versions and iterations. Leather Pros has done a great job of updating them and making them better and stronger as they go. I believe we're on version 3 at this point, but I could be wrong about that. But these are that latest version, and they're awesome. So that's really where we're at on the bike. A couple of other, little details here and there. We've changed out some cosmetic stuff. We've got our ODI throttle tube and Vans Colt grips on here. We've got our footboards from San Diego Customs. We did some powder coating on some other parts. Changed, some small details. Rear tail light to make that an LED and blacked out and eliminate the turn signals. Lay down license plate bracket. We've got an MX shifter peg here from Alloy Art. We've also got Alloy Art's billet shift linkage on this side as well. All those little details, like I said, are things that not to be overlooked, and all things that we carry. And kind of why I wanted to do this particular video standing here in front of our parts showroom is to kind of illustrate that, while we do focus on the big, meaty performance motor build stuff, everything else is just as important, and we can help you out with that too. So thanks for watching. If you've got any questions about this bike, the build, any of the details on it, more than happy to talk to you about that. So give us a call, shoot us a message any way you want to get in touch. And obviously, if you're local, just come on by the shop because we're here. So thanks again, and please make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.